Have you ever found yourself speaking negatively about somebody else? Today's episode is all about gossip and how we can use our words to either speak life or death. What I've learned about gossip over the years is that anytime you talk about someone behind their back, it always seems to come around and get you. Either the person you've told passes the message on, or the one you're talking about walks into the room mid-sentence. Let's hear Tannis' story about how gossip could really destroy some of your friendships.
Let me tell you a story about gossip that happened to me, and ever since then, sometimes you just need an event like this to happen to you before you realize how bad gossip can be. This did occur I was about 19 years old or so, and my boyfriend at the time was going to be in a wedding party. He was the best man in a wedding party. Important to note that no, these people weren't Christians, and no, I wasn't walking with God at the time. So I hated going to the bar. I hated it at this time, and so did my boyfriend, and we were tired, so here comes a bachelorette party. Really, you want me to tell this story? Okay, fine. Here's the bachelorette party. All the girls had to go to a country bar. I also hate country music, so that didn't help. And all the guys went to a different bar. So at the end of the night, my boyfriend and I would get into a car and swap stories. Oh, it's so stupid. Why do these people have to go to the bar? I like to have fun, and so lame. Oh, these girls, all they do is get drunk, and they love the attention of these guys. I hope, I was terrible. I said, I hope that one girl, deals with her dark mustache before the wedding, because that's in a few days. No, it was awful. And I remember saying, after this wedding thing, let's just stop hanging out with these people maybe, or maybe we just have to really tell them how we feel, I don't know. And then it was -40 and the heat was on in the car. And I said, oh, I hear some squealing. Something's happening in the car. And I said, put down the heat. And he put down the heat, and we heard all this squealing. And we're looking everywhere, what is it? And we saw that the phone, and at that time, the phone was in a flip phone. It was on, and it was on top of the dashboard. And it had called back the number of the house where all of the wedding party and all of the guys and girls were now at this point. Someone had answered it on speakerphone, and for 25 minutes listened to us gossip about every single one of them almost, including the mustache girl, including the guy who was about to be married. And when we put our ears up to the phone, we could hear them yelling at each other, the dissension that we had caused. We could hear how much they hated us and didn't want us to be part of their wedding anymore. It was terrible, and it was awful, and I will never forget. That was the greatest lesson. But imagine if all the things that we said about people, just imagine they're sitting right there, or perhaps listening on the other end of a cell phone.
So that was an awesome party last night.
I know, totes fab.
I can't believe how many people showed up.
There were over 41 people there. Did you see Becca there?
I texted her, but she didn't answer me.
Hey guys.
Hey Becca, where were you last night? You weren't at the party?
Yeah, you weren't there.
Everyone was looking for you.
Yeah, I didn't make it there.
Why?
Well, I was at ballet rehearsal all morning and ring at practice all afternoon. And I was just so tired, so when I got home, I crashed out on the couch and I woke up at 8, so I just went to bed.
Oh.
Hey, why wasn't Becca at the party last night?
She had ballet and ringette all day, so she crashed, woke up at 8, and went to bed.
Why didn't she come after?
I guess she wanted to be well rested.
Hey, was that about that guy? I didn't see her at the party last night.
Yeah, something about ballet and ringette. She crashed, woke up at 8, and went to bed.
Crazy.
Hey man, awesome party last night. You still sweat.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Was Becca there?
Oh no, something about ballet and ringette. Crashed on the couch, then woke up at 8, went to bed.
Wait, what did he say about Becca?
Ballet and ringette, crashed at 8, woke up, and then just went to bed.
I see.
Did you hear Becca got a belly ring, crashed at 8, and went to bed?
That's crazy, no way.
Hey, do you know that Becca checked? She got a belly button ring.
Really?
I heard she crushed a grape and won a bet.
Did you guys hear about Becca? She won a grape in a bet and crushed her for a belly button ring.
And why would she do that?
She's just crazy, I guess.
Who are you talking about?
Becca.
Isn't that girl who crashed into an 8 because she needed a rest?
Who needed rest?
Becca.
I heard she had a gambling problem. I heard she crushes couches.
You know who's hot?
Who?
Becca.
Haven't you heard? That's the girl who won an ape in a bet, tied a ring around his belly, and crushed it with a couch.
Why?
Because she's crazy.
Hey guys, did you hear Becca got arrested last night? Yeah, apparently she woke up at 8, drove it to the casino, and then ran over it with her tires.
I heard she drove over it 8 times. I heard she can make her belly button sing.
I just burned my tongue.
Spotted! Okay, y'all, so here's the latest. Last night, Becca was driving to a singing belly button audition when she crushed an ape that had escaped from a casino with her tires. It woke up, so she burnt its tongue and took it to the vet. And now she's getting arrested for being like crazy. Our thoughts and prayers go to ape in this most difficult time. Hashtag pray for apes. Don't forget to follow on Instagram and Twitter. Peace out.
I knew it.
As far as gossip goes, I think that only ends up hurting people. You're not getting the direct facts, and it ends up hurting more people in the end rather than doing anything good, both for yourself and for the person that you're gossiping about.
So gossip in the workplace, for example, like you would think that adults would have gotten over it and sort of grown up, but it's still there and present, and it really, it really hurts people's feelings. It really hurts people's feelings and like damages the trust in the relationships.
Gossip is definitely a problem. I find it getting worse because now you have a screen to separate yourself between you and your victim. If you're going out and you're going to say things about someone, they are the victim. And then it's also very cowardly as well. If you're being victimized, if you are being targeted, then talk to somebody, and if they're not doing anything, go to somebody else. You have to find somebody to deal with it because it's not okay in any circumstance. Some people need to actually make others smaller to make themselves bigger. I think that's truly why people gossip. I've definitely been the person like who has been gossiped about, and when I heard it, at first I was like, I can't believe someone would say that about me. And then after I kind of stopped, I said, well, there are reasons why they have to say that about me. It's not me, but there are reasons why they feel they have to say it. They have to diminish me to make themselves feel better.
I think people gossip for a lot of different reasons. I think a huge reason is just something to talk about. People love hearing about other people's lives, and if people are miserable with their own lives, they especially love hearing about other people's lives or talking about other people's lives. So I think if they're insecure about something with themselves, then they'll gossip about someone else. I think it's a huge problem. Like, I experience it every day. I think we experience it without even realizing it. And I think it's the biggest problem among teenage girls, definitely, because we all kind of do it, but we don't really realize we're doing it. And even if we're not trying to be mean, it is being mean because we're talking behind people's backs.
Oh, hey, Jane.
Hey, John, what's up?
Not much. Just headed to bio. Hey, how come you weren't in class yesterday?
Oh, I was just really sick. I had to be in bed.
Oh, yeah? You partied pretty hard, huh?
No, not at all. Anyways, I have to get to class.
All right.
I'll see you later.
See you at math.
Have you seen Jane today?
Oh yeah, I just saw her like 3 seconds ago. She's probably in class already.
Oh, do you know why she was absent yesterday?
So she was sick. It's probably from all her partying.
Really? Jane?
Oh yeah, that girl goes crazy. At this one party last summer, she went nuts.
Wow, that's a bit of a surprise.
Oh yeah, she's got a crazy side to her, that girl.
Alright, well, if you see Jane, tell her I'm looking for her.
Alright.
Alright, thanks, Sean. See you later.
See ya.
Hey, do you know where Jane was this weekend?
Where?
I heard she was partying it up.
What? She told me she was sick.
Sounds like she wasn't.
Hey Michelle, how was class? Good. Is everything okay?
You didn't have to lie, you know?
Huh?
If you didn't want to hang out with me, you could have just told me. You didn't have to lie.
What?
Hey, Jane. I'm looking for you, you party animal.
You told Ryan that you went to a party and you didn't even bother to tell me.
What is going on?
Hey guys, what's going on?
John, what did you tell them?
Oh.
I've been the one to gossip about other people, but it all changes when you're on the other end of it, doesn't it? In grade 8, 4 of my best friends got together behind my back and wrote a list of all the things they didn't like about me. They called me up after school one day and read this list to me on the phone. It broke my heart. I ran upstairs into my room and slammed the door and slid down to the floor and cried. The Bible says that the tongue, though it's a small part of the body, it has a lot of power to steer the whole course of our life. With every word that we say, we're either speaking life or we're speaking death. So when you choose to say something negative about another person, and you think that it's going to make you look better, it actually might be doing the opposite. Instead of steering the course of their life, it's steering the course of your life. In James 3, verse 3, it says, "Or take ships as an example. Though they are large and driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder," kind of like this one, "wherever the pilot wants it to go. Likewise, the tongue, though a small part of the body, steers the whole course of your life." So next time you're thinking about talking about someone behind their back, remember the rudder. Remember that every word you say has a huge impact on the direction your life is taking. And if you want acceptance and popularity and you think it's going to steer you that way, remember it's actually going to take you the opposite way. You're straight into the storm. So think about it before you speak. Have you ever heard the line, "If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all"? Well, why not take it a step further? If you don't have anything nice to say, look for something. Look for the good in people and then speak it out to them. Know that when you give with your words and lift someone else up, it doesn't tear you down, it lifts you up too. We want to leave you with 3 things today. First is a question to ask God. Take some time later today or this week and ask God, have I been using my words to speak life or death? And if the answer is death, maybe ask Him why. What's the motivation behind using my words in a negative way? The next is a step to take. Write down the names of 3 people that you can use your words to encourage this week, and then do it. And finally, a resource. Check out the book by Annie Downs called Speak Love. When we remember that we're daughters of God, it changes our perspective on everything. Instead of needing to put others down to make ourselves feel better, we can be rooted in the knowledge that God loves us, and we can use our words instead to bring life to others.
I'm going to paint a picture of my two best friends. They're both understanding. They're there for me when I need somebody to listen to and to give me positive guidance.
Someone who will stand by you, but even tell you you're wrong. Someone who'll be as brutally honest with you as you are with them. And that's going to keep you true, and that's going to make sure that there's trust.
Our friendship is all just about positivity and looking out for each other.
There are so many things that you can do to reach out and attract the kind of people and friendships that you want to have in your life. When I first met my best friend, we didn't really get along that well. In fact, we both kind of thought, she's okay. But the more time we spent together and the more we invested into our relationship, the closer we became. You see, it does take time and effort and reaching out to really build a friendship. There's a couple of things that you can do and remember when you're thinking about friendship that will help you make those connections. The first thing is to remember to choose your friends wisely, because they're going to shape how you think and feel and act. If you choose friends that have the same values as you and the similar goals to you, then you're going to help each other on your journey. But if you choose people who are negative and who are always talking down about other people and about you, then you're going to end up becoming like them too. So remember, your friendships shape you, so choose wisely.
It's amazing how there was specifically these three girls that I used to start to hang out with. They started to try smoking cigarettes, and it was funny and it was risky. They're the ones that I, started drinking first, so I would sample a drink with them. They're the ones who started saying some very bad words, very bad thoughts, experimenting with guys, things that they shouldn't have. And all these things, I can remember sitting back and being like, I know God and I'm going to help lead them. And this is still at a very young age. This is probably when I'm 13 years old. And slowly but surely, as I spent more time with these girls, their way of life started to swallow me. And I found myself getting drunk at parties. I found myself doing worse things and being a trendsetter in the opposite way, doing worse things. I found myself taking other girls from church that I knew and dragging them down with me. I look back at those times now and I think, I can't believe how impressionable, right, I was. After I came back to the Lord, there were some girls in my life that I was very, very close with. And it was very hard to understand how to relate to them anymore, because now when I would hear them say the Lord's name in vain, or I'd hear them gossip about people or do things I used to participate in, inside I could physically start to feel my stomach get sick. I could start to feel myself start to cry. And I could see so plainly that the things that were coming out of these women's mouth, the ways that they were acting, was out of a place of pain and out of a place of hurt. So now I know differently, but if I may be so bold, I really watch now who it is that I sit with, the people that I'm giving my intimate moments to, that I'm sharing my things with, that I'm sharing my deepest thoughts with, my deepest hopes with, my deepest prayers with. They gotta be other girls who believe in Jesus, that I can pray with, that you can pray together, you can share those things.
And so I'm writing this letter, and I hear my mom's voice from the other room, and she yells, "Tasha, you have a phone call, pick up the phone." And so I don't know what led me to pick up the phone. Maybe I was thinking I should just tell my mom I'm not free right now, can you take a message? But I picked up the phone and my friend's voice was on the other end, and she said, "Hey, Tasha, how are you?" And I was not ready for a bright, happy conversation, and I just said, "I'm okay, how are you?" She said, I'm okay, I think. I really feel like I need to tell you something. And I really think that God wants me to share this dream that I had with you. And so I need you to just sit down and not say anything until I'm done. And I was thinking, okay, sure. And so I indulged her. I let her start her story and share this dream with me. And she began and she said, "Tasha, I don't know what's going on right now in your life, but I had this dream last night that you were standing on the side of a bridge. and everything around was dark and it was hopeless. And I felt so desperate to just reach out and grab you from this ledge. She said those words, my heart kind of stopped, because what she didn't realize was I had been having a reoccurring dream that I was standing on the edge of a bridge and I was about to jump. And every time I would jump, I would wake up. It was just, that would be the end of the dream. I would wake up in a cold sweat at night. The darkness was still there. I would try to go back to sleep to forget about everything. And so she said those words, and I was thinking, how does she know this? Like, how could she know that I had had this dream? And she said, I wanted to reach out for you, Tasha, and I wanted to pull you back from that ledge so badly. But then for whatever reason, my perspective changed. And suddenly I was standing on the water and I was looking up at you while you were on this bridge, ready to jump. And she's like, and all I could see beneath your feet were these two very large hands. And she said, I think right now, with whatever you're struggling with, you feel like you're so alone, that nobody cares, that nobody's there to help or to protect you. But God wants you to know that his hands are big enough and that you need to just fall into them and not into the water. You're not created to drown. And I remember just bawling my eyes out. I just stopped in the middle. I was shaking. I was just so overwhelmed in that moment. How could she know these things? Did God really speak to her? And I'm holding the phone, I'm shaking, I can't catch my breath, I can't tell her anything. I'm just in awe in that moment, wondering, really, God? Like, is that really you? Are you reaching out to me? Is this what you're saying? Am I hearing this? Is there grace for me? And she prayed for me, and for the first time in weeks, maybe months, I finally felt a peace. It was truly a peace that surpasses anything I could explain or understand or have created myself. And I took a deep breath, tears rolling down my face while I'm on the phone with her, and all I could say was thank you. She hung up the phone as she came over to my house. She just felt like she needed to come. And we cried together, and I didn't exactly share what was going on, but for the first time there was a peace. And I knew in that moment, I knew that was God reaching out to me.
If you want to have good friends, you need to be a good friend. So reach out to people. Maybe there's someone that kind of interests you, but you're a little shy or nervous, or you're waiting for them to come up to you first. Why not take the step and be brave and approach them and offer that hand of friendship? You may find that that person ends up being one of your closest friends, an opportunity you would have missed if you didn't reach out.
The kind of friend that I strive to be now is somebody who sees the best in that person. God has given me the gift to see the best in people and what's inside of them and to blow it up so that they see it for themselves. Turning a mirror to someone's face and saying, do you see what God sees? How can I pray for you? That's an amazing thing. Think about when it's said to you. But when someone remembers you in their prayer, I try to remember to pray for people as they're going through things, because sometimes things are so big in your friends' lives and you don't know how to help, and sometimes it can't be any of your business publicly, but you can pray. You can do those things as a friend. I try to listen. It's hard for me, but I try to listen. And there's something I've learned too about giving unsolicited advice that people didn't really ask for. It's hard not to do that sometimes because you see someone breaking, but sometimes it's just something that you need to say, God, I'm going to let you work in that person's life, and I'm not going to meddle in that, and that's none of my business to say those things. Another way to be a good friend is just by being the example. And words. You can speak words of life or you can speak words of death to people. Really, there's only two categories. And that's what's so interesting. If you think of words like an elevator that can bring people up or that they can take them down, what are your words going to do, right? What are they going to say to people? They're powerful. They're powerful.
At the end of the day, remember that nobody can be a friend to you like Jesus can. He knows you inside and out, and he loves and accepts you unconditionally. Maybe you're having a bad day and you want to talk to somebody and you can't get a hold of your best friend and everyone seems busy with their own things. Jesus is always there and he's listening and he loves you and he says that he will never leave us or forsake us. He is the best friend out there. If what you learned today was true, and you want to take it a step further, here's a few things you can do after the show. The first is a question for God. Take some time later today and ask God, how do you want to be my friend today? The second is a step that you can take. Think about a person in your life that you can reach out to and offer friendship to. Because as we talked about before, the best way to make friends is to be a friend. So how does our perspective change when we remember that we're daughters of God? When we first allow Jesus to be our best friend, we learn how to be a friend, and we become more secure and confident in who we are. And when we act out of that place, people are drawn to us, not because of us, but because of His light shining through us.